Hello traders, and in particular Dave. Dave, this is a response to your tweet on my Twitter feed, best forex method. If you aren't aware of that already, apologies for the name. It was I never expected to have any sort of following, and I certainly am not arrogant enough to say it's the best forex method. It was just first thing that came into my head actually. But anyway, that aside, Dave, I had to make a response to your chart because there is so much involved in it that I like, just for all sorts of reasons, not necessarily to trade it. But before I forget, I need to thank you, Dave, for getting involved and posting charts and really getting into these stocks with me on TradingView because, in my opinion, that's the whole reason that we share stuff, all of us on FinTwit, is to improve ourselves. And by you guys posting charts that sort of agree with what I've got on these charts, the RSI histo and just plain the alert, and then or the alert and indicator and trend lines. We're gonna just keep improving, in my opinion. So firstly, looking at this, so thanks again, Dave. So firstly, looking at this weekly chart, one thing that I notice apart from the candles is that this is great because on a weekly chart, obviously you're looking at the lower time frames, dailies and whatnot, and that ascending trend line there, connecting that and that, would look like yeah, we're going to pop back there and bounce like it has here, pop back and bounce. So what it's done is something that I notice happens often on the lower time frames, because obviously they're all fractal, they all work exactly the same way in my opinion, and in many other traders' opinions as well, is that sorry, I'm quite new to TradingView, and it doesn't always do what I hope it would do. So apologies for that too. So this one is actually bouncing off the lower trend line, which if you're not that familiar with trend lines and moving averages, this would just represent something like a 30 moving average, 30 periods. I don't know how many is in there, and this one would represent 100, or that might be whatever. Count those, and you will know what the MA would be. So it's popped past one strong one, which has obviously been respected at these points here, and dropped down to another. That's a good reason I like this for going further along, as well as all the other reasons we've got. We've had a nice pullback. In reality, I would like to see this sort of situation. So, and if I can explain what I mean by all of this here, sorry I've gone off topic a bit, Dave, but we've got another situation where you've got an ascending trend line, and then you've got another ascending trend line going on here as well. Oh, I've noticed I've lost the RSI histogram. In fact, we've got two ascending trend lines, haven't we? We've got that one internally as well, which has probably been respected. Connecting that to that, and that's why this has been played around here. This one connects that to that to that, and perhaps tighten that one up to there. Come on, TradingView, do what you're told. A bit more like that. Oh, for goodness sake. There. And you can do a better job by the line charts, to be honest with you. That's why I like the line charts so much. And there is even another one there. Once again, going off topic, I realise this, I do apologise. There. But you can't unsee this stuff when you see it. So all those are different moving averages. And I really don't like moving averages on my chart because I lose focus. And let's get that RSI back. There you go. I lose focus. They just you become blinded to them, much like you do with pivots and round number lines and all that lot. The cleaner you can keep your charts and then actually draw the stuff on, the better I think it sticks in your mind. It does certainly in mine. in my mind that way. So anyway, back to this. Oh, and the point of this was, look, we've come down deep, and we've not come down deep here. So it may. I would like, and we've got divergence there as well. So in a perfect world, I would have liked that to have come down deeper and gone up. So I reckon there's room to pop up on this, but not necessarily the best looking setup for a big old move. So getting into the candlesticks now, let's have a look at that closer. We can clearly see momentum's going up. We can clearly see, in my opinion, the perfect entry was as directly after that. We've had a whole week now of pushing up, but that's not to say this doesn't look good. This is the point of this video because there's so much on it that interests me. We've got this, what I would expect to cause a problem with price, bearing in mind this is a weekly chart, the low of that bar there. So we've got room to there. Let's draw that on. So I would expect it to have a problem there, but I would also expect it to test that. Old support tested as new resistance. So if I'm a scalper and I'm looking for 50 points or whatever, a tenner a point or whatever, then that would be an area that I would expect to potentially get hit. So there's not an awful lot else we can put on this chart apart from the good old. Oh, the other thing is we've busted through that 3CR low there, so support has not held as resistance. We've actually closed through it. That's a brilliant thing. Okay, we came up, tested it, and it held. But now we are into the meat of this as well. This has failed to hold. This this would be a line chart low here, potentially, I think. No, can't see that on there. It would be on a higher time frame. I'm sure of it. So let's have a look at the lower time. Lower time frame. Let's have a look at that on the lower time frame, and we will see a kink in that, no doubt. There it is there. But we've closed through it with all these highs here, so that's good. The other good thing I like about this on the daily is that we've broken this high, closed through it, and we've closed through there. We can see that by drawing a line on the high of that chart there. And what I would do, I would also look at the candles and see that it had closed through there. Okay, so this is where the line chart comes into its own, because you look at the high there, you look at the high there, what's going on? Flick to the line chart, which if you're not aware of is the one EMA, one period EMA on every time frame. So it's a day on the daily, it's one week on the weekly, and so on and so forth. So that you can just put on your chart, on your real charts as well. We've got momentum up. In a perfect world, I'd want to see it around the 20 level, and I've talked about this before, it's an arbitrary level, so anything over 17 or whatever would be good. I'm not sure if I've ever mentioned, well, I have mentioned this, but if you're not aware, when you put your mouse on the bar, it gives you the level there. Okay, so 32.16 in green, 35.54, so you can get a good idea. 10.04, and this has been broken by 12.74. So somewhere around the 20 level is good strong momentum, but that is still a bust up, pullback, break and close on the daily chart. What's also interesting on this is that they often say, I remember my original mentor 17-18 years ago now said you get so many tests of a resistance level above you, and then finally it breaks out. I think he used to say it was on the third test. So 1, 2, and then boom, off it goes. Another good reason for this potentially hitting that level up there. So back to the candles, we've got a 3 candle reversal on this daily. So as Dave, you mentioned, you might expect a pullback. Now this is the point, another point of this video, because you are, or I thought about, I think I answered on Twitter, these do concern me. I'm still learning and watching. and gathering data, as it were. This is a 2B reversal here actually as well, if you notice that. There's the swing down, this would be the poke bar, then you draw your line on the low of there, the break and close above it, notice it's tested it, pulled through. But getting back to the original subject, and here's one here as well, can't help seeing them. There, it's broken above, pushed on up. Back to the original point, I use the lower time frames. Ideally, what I want to be doing is watching the lower time frames and taking this at this sort of level here as a result of the lower time frames giving me that impulse move. So getting in at this point the day before it goes up, and then shoot up it goes, boom. I've talked about this in previous videos. Look for the trading view videos. You know, you can clearly define them against the MT4 videos if you want to sort of catch up on everything I do with stocks and play a few of them. That's in general. But back to what we were talking about, Dave. This this 3 candle reversal here, if you think about it, was one of those big red down days, big red up days. So at the start of the day, the minute that high is broken is when you want to be thinking about getting in that trade. Big red down, momentum change up, and then the lower time frames give us the indication as to when we can get in that. So the perfect trade would have been, for me, on that day. That's why I'm looking at these 2 red reversals, looking for the change of momentum the previous day. This is the perfect time to look for trades, just like this one. That was the 3 candle reversal candle there. Well, in fact, it was that one technically, because that's, or the open of that, we could treat that as a 3 candle reversal. I mean, this line here, and pullback. So I want to be getting in when this is green, that change from red to green, and then potentially hit that long. And this candle here, once the high is broken, we have 2 green candles, which is an uptrend, low, high, high, low, higher, high. And how we get in that with confirmation is just go down to the H4 and look for the confirmation candle. So if we go down to H4, this is the situation here. And once again, we've got all this red, momentum. How can we get into this earlier? Because we're still looking at that pattern I'm talking about, that impulsive long pattern. We can drop down, and this is where I love trading view as well, because if you're new to this channel, you know I'm a real MT4 diehard. We've got additional information. We've actually got a 3 candle reversal, and we've actually got the pullback. So we could go into the details of that pullback and have a look how to get into that stock trade, or this stock trade should I say. But we've also got the 2 hour. Now, just in case you're not aware, you can actually tweak MT4 to get multiple different time frames. There is a, I think it's an FX Blue EA that gives you multiple time frames, but just Google that or look on Forex Factory and you'll find plenty of people, and they will give you can actually use offline charts to create 2 hours and 3 hours and 1.25 hours and whatnot, but it's clunky and it needs a lot of processor power. So anyway, back to this. You have got you've got a 2B reversal now on this chart here. Bearing in mind we wouldn't have been freaked into any of this because we're looking at those 2 daily candles. So all of this would have been part of the daily candles. So this is where we would have been, that's the beauty of multi-time frame analysis with the RSI histo. You're not faked into early trades, or if you are, you know what levels you should be trading to. But this particular one now on the 2 hour, we've got that 3 candle reversal. We've got the red to green situation, so you could literally use this further down as well. And then in this instance, we go to an hourly. And let's just check what days we are now. So we've actually got an hourly bust, pullback, break and close. A momentum, well, this is a high momentum 3CR here actually. So we got the momentum 3CR. Let me double check which one. That high was, sorry, I've gone slightly off topic here, but it does all matter because in the real time you can't see any of this on the left. So we would have seen that high of 230.1 closed through by 230. That was actually the 3CR high there in reality. It's gapped up. Double check that again. Oh, we need to see the open, sorry. No, it's not. High of that one was 230.10. The close of that one was 229, yeah. The open of that one was 229.59. Yeah, so it didn't. Then it popped back. Then it closed at 229.90. And what did that one do? Open 229. This was actually the 3CR. I should have trusted Aaron's indicator. So that's the 3CR close. That is the pullback. That's the continuation. So 3CR with high momentum. Funny old game, isn't it? You know, you get that pullback, which was the whole point of this video, to be honest with you, to answer Dave's question, and then you get the break and close up. Now, the beauty about all of this is, and again, this was the reason this piqued my interest so much, is that the answer to your question, Dave, is that I think all of the games have been played. This is the, you know, the swan song, the final attempt to fake in the sellers, convince them that this resistance had held all these times, and then what do? They reverse it. And there is so much power to this up move now that I think this will hit that level and it will go beyond it too, you know, to these levels and test all of this liquidity. So as Phil Losing Pip taught me, you know, it revolutionized my way of thinking. We are looking to attack levels of liquidity, looking for the sellers above. So they're looking to get a great price on selling, remember, just like the buyers are trying to get a great price on buying, or the algos, whatever way you want to look at it. So this isn't a recommendation to trade. This is just why I like this a lot. It just looks to me like they have totally exhausted all the possibilities to the downside. I may be wrong, that's why I'm watching these things, but we watch, we learn, and we get more confidence. But there's that situation again. Look, 3 tests on this hourly chart. 4th test, potentially, boom. We shall see. Time will tell. TWT, as they say in certain circles. So lovely. I reckon this is looking quite good, Dave. So don't bet your house on it, but we are learning this stuff. And there's the good old pattern I talk about. Every trade, every chart looks the same. So thanks for watching. Sorry for the rambling again, but hopefully this has got some value for you guys. And cheers, Dave. And anyone else, just throw your charts up, please, and we all learn from them. Have a great weekend, what's left of it.